All right, it's time for another I Ching reading with Clyde, and here is a message that's very special, very special, very deep, and very profound, coming up right after this. All right, good afternoon. This is Lucky Links and Clyde. Hello. And Clyde's going to do a special I Ching reading for everyone because people liked the last one, didn't they? Oh, yes, very much. And this one, I looked over. Yes, that's it. I looked over what the message is. This is really a heavy one. Are you sure you're up to this? Oh yes, absolutely. All right, there's an initial hexagram, and then along with the initial hexagram, there's several changing lines. There's 3 changing lines. And then, oh, you're really into it, aren't you? Absolutely, yes, I am. Okay, and then it actually transforms into another hexagram. Yes, it does. So, do you want me to preface something, or just want to? I think he really likes the camera, doesn't he? All right, okay, I get it. Would you like your time in the spotlight? Yes, please. All right, let me just say that wow, you're really gonna. He really likes the camera. All right, go for it. I'm not saying anything. You know how to interpret this? Yes. Okay, so the message is, here, let me get this out of your way. There's the bookmark we put in place. So, we had, all right, I'll let you speak. Here, okay. What was it? What was the two trigrams come together? What's a trigram? It's 3 lines. I thought you knew how to do. We talked about this. What are the 2 symbols that go on top of each other that create this hexagram? What's a hexagram? It's the 8-line figure. It's a 6-line figure. Hexa 6. Are you going to be doing this for the whole video? Go for it. Mountain over lake. Decrease. Where did we say to start? I thought you didn't need any help. Decrease does not, under all circumstances, mean something bad. Increase and decrease come in their own time. Are you poking me? I was just fixing your... do you want to continue? What matters here is to understand the time and not try to cover matters. I saw what you did. What matters here is to understand the time and not try to cover up poverty with empty pretense. If a time of scanty resources brings out an inner truth, one must not feel ashamed, of simplicity. For simplicity is the very thing needed to provide inner strength for further understanding. That's undertakings. undertakings. You know, you keep this up, you're going to need an undertaking. Wow. You are getting sassy as you progress in your magical and divinatory skills. I'm just being honest. Indeed, there need be no concern if the outward beauty of the civilization, even the elaboration of religious forms, should have to suffer because of simplicity. One must draw on the strength of the inner attitude to compensate for what is lacking in eternals. Then, the power of the content makes up for the simplicity of the form. There is no need of presenting. There is no need of it. You don't know what this means, do you? Well, yes, I do. Decrease does not, under all circumstances, mean something bad. Increase or decrease come in their own time. What matters is to understand the time and not to try to cover up poverty. There is no need of presenting false appearances to God. Even with slender means, the sentiment of the heart can be expressed. Here's what it means. He's watching very closely. So if you could just pretend that I explained it thoroughly and you understood exactly what... You think I can't hear you? I mean, are you really going to go there? Yes, please. Would you like me to help you with this? Yes, please. Okay. This is actually very appropriate for you. Do you know why? Because it explains you very well. You see, this means that what people are going through right now, with everything that's happening in the world and people losing a lot, there is an opportunity here that some people may not be seeing. Do you know what that is? Simplicity is the very thing needed to provide inner strength for further undertakings. Yes, that's exactly it. You got it. Simplicity, people have gotten so wrapped up in needing this and needing that and needing that, that we have actually become completely disconnected from everything that is important in life. And like you, Clyde, like me, simplicity really has an inner power and something that can really connect us back to what is important. See, you're not about pretenses. That's right. Not about pretenses. Do you know what pretenses are? When you are imagining that you're something else. No, that's pretending. Pretenses means like when you put on airs. Like a balloon? No. No, what you just did, that is actually what this is talking about. The simplicity of innocence and joy and what's really important. And as you're going to see with what this is changing to, this is actually about people recognizing what's really important and actually recognizing what we have actually invested all of our time, our resources, and our energy in. When we've made things so complicated and so convoluted that we are out of complete sync. You mean like the kitchen sink? No, that's not like we're out of line with nature. Oh, yes, absolutely. So what this is saying is that in these times where people are challenged and even limited resources, and they may find themselves, even in some cases where they're in the poverty and those things that they thought that they needed are lacking, are they really lacking? What's really important? Does that make sense? Oh, yes, absolutely. So what this is saying is that simplicity may be the very thing that people have been lacking, and the very thing that really showed them what's either been missing in their heart or what's really valuable in their heart. And then from there, it's not over though, is it? Absolutely not. They're going to have to make some decisions about what's really important in their lives, and really what is fundamental to human success and human happiness and human connection. But then there's a lot changing here in this hexagram, which is the 8 lines, right? So we have to look at it. So we got when we threw it earlier, you had 3 changing lines. We got 1, 2, 3. So the 4th is a changing line. The 5th is a changing line, and the 6th is a changing line. So you need to turn the page. Okay, lick your finger. There you go. Okay, don't slobber on the book. He just told me to lick my finger. Do you need help? Yes, please. All right. All right, these are stuck together. You know why they're stuck together? Because you put too much spit on your finger and they stuck. Where is it? Do you see it? All right, so we got 4th place. So 6 in the 4th place, you see? 6 in the 4th place means if a man decreases his faults, it makes the other hasten to come and rejoice. A man's faults often present... Yeah, I saw that. A man's faults often prevent even well-disposed people from coming closer to him. His faults. Would you like to know some of Lucky's faults? Because I could tell you that, right? Could you not? His faults are sometimes reinforced by the environment in which he lives. But if in humility he can bring himself to the point of giving them up, he frees his well-disposed friends from an inner pressure and causes them to approach the more quickly, and then there is mutual joy. Do you know what that means? You want some help? Yes, please. Okay, so with all of this difficulty that's going on and simplicity emerging, this is a time for people to actually say, okay, well, what faults of mine are emerging in all of this that I can see, and then that can I root out? And then if we do that, each of us, because people have been asking us, both of us, what's going on in the world and what really can we do, right? Yes, that's right. Well, if we work on getting rid of our own faults, then we have people join us because we have worked on ourselves, right? Does that make sense? No. Oh, yes, it does. So if we work on bettering ourselves, more likely we are to have people to come and join us in joy and to support us and to want us to succeed, you see? So what's the next changing line? 6 in the 5th place means someone does indeed increase him. 10 pairs of tortoises cannot oppose it. Supreme good fortune. If someone is marked out by fate for good fortune, it comes without fail. All oracles, as for instance, those that are read from the shells of tortoises. Yeah, that's right, read from the shells of tortoises. There were certain the I Ching. Do you know that it was originally said that the I Ching, that the lines that are read in the I Ching, the patterns, the hexagrams. There he goes again with the big words. the hexagram, the 8 lines, it said that they were seen in the lines of a tortoise shell. So this is referring to the kind of divination that was used with tortoise shells. You actually were playing with a tortoise shell the other day and noticing the patterns of it. Do you remember?
Oh, yes, that's right.
Well, there's all sorts of ways that you can use natural objects to divine with, and that's what it's referring to.
Even those that are read from the shells of tortoises are bound to concur in giving him favorable signs. He need fear nothing, because his luck is ordained from high.
So this is tricky, and I'm gonna just jump in here.
You knew he would, didn't you?
All right. This is very specific. It suggests that there are some people that may be that this is preordained, and that something is happening here that's much bigger, and that there are some that are meant to help with this. Does that make sense? And that's really as far as I want to go into that now. But no, that's it for now. I can talk to you off camera. Is that
Yes, please.
all right? So I can tell you more off camera, but for now, this is really all that needs to be said on this, because my feeling is that things are developing in a way that are going to bring people back to that simplicity. And while there's a lot of people out there thinking that, boom, they're going to wake up and then the whole world is going to be ascended, that there may be a little more to it than that. Like, first, people have to really recognize what's really important, because you can't give what's really valuable to people who don't really understand what's important. And if people are taking all of their valuable gifts, their simplicity, their time, their energy, and they're giving it away to things that actually make them feel empty, well, then if you give those people what is valuable, they're not really going to value it. Kind of like you, Clyde. No, I mean, you're very valuable. Friendship is very valuable. What we have as friends is very valuable.
Yes, that's right.
And what we share as friends is very valuable. And a lot of people don't necessarily see the value in that, especially these days. There's a lot of people who say they just want to be left alone, they don't want to be with other people. But as we're going to see, and we read this already together, right? There's more to it than that. There's really not, it's really not about staying separate from people, is it?
Oh, absolutely not.
Well, what's the 9 at the top? The last line say?
If one is increased without depriving others, there is no blame. Perseverance brings good fortune. There are people who dispense blessings to the whole world. Every increase in power that comes to them benefits the whole of mankind, and therefore does not bring decrease to others. Though perseverance and zealous work, you mean through. Yes, that's right. Through perseverance and zealous work, a man wins success and finds helpers as they are needed. But what he accomplishes is not a limited private advantage. It is a public good available to everyone. Now, this means there has to be a benefit made to not just a few.
That's it, Clyde. That's it. When specifically, there's, if people are going down the road of politics and politicians, they're already in the wrong place, right? Because this actually refers to a law that's actually much older and discussed in things like the I Ching.
I Ching.
And it says that there is a law of heaven, and heaven dispenses evenly to those who need it. But the law of man is to hoard. And if you look at what's going on with politics, and I don't really care who the politician is.
Politics.
Yes, that's right.
Politicians.
They're not really interested in public good, are they?
Absolutely not.
So this is talking about a rare kind of individual who isn't really interested in only their agenda, but is really interested in benefiting all people, not just people who agree with you, but this is actually referring to something that's much more profound and much more life-changing for everyone, not just one person who agrees with you. Does that make sense?
Oh, yes.
So then that's all from that. And then we change to what? What's this changing into?
Lake over lake, the joyous.
So do you want to read that one? We got, yeah, there you go. There you go, you got it. No, that's the Wanderer. Do you need help?
Yes, please.
All right, here. So we got the joyous, the lake. Okay, we just put this section out, right? So you could read that section. So this is changing into this, and this is really, really beautiful. So go ahead. What does it say?
The joyous mood is infectious and therefore brings success. But joy must be based on steadfastness if it is not to degenerate into uncontrolled mirth. Truth and strength must dwell in the heart, while gentleness reveals itself in social intercourse. In this way one assumes the right attitude toward God and man, and achieves something. Under certain conditions, intimidation without gentleness may achieve something momentarily, but not for all time. When, on the other hand, the hearts of men are won by friendliness, they are led to take all hardships upon themselves willingly, and if need be, will not shun death itself. So great the power of joy over men. That's a mouthful.
Yeah, you want some help with that one, don't you?
Yes, please.
Okay, this is where it's really beautiful. This talks about how trying to force people into doing something is never going to work. And trying to decide that you know the good of all men and women and that you have to force it on them, unless when this was all based on enlightened kings, those who stood between heaven and earth, those who actually understood and were a conduit between heaven and earth.
It's a conduit.
It's like something that goes between. But this actually suggests the need to be able to cultivate joy, is steadfast joy. So joy that continues and joy that does not wane in your heart. And then that in connection with other people can create something so profound that people will actually join together and actually, as it says, not shun death, which means that if you can connect with other people from joy in your heart, then they will feel joy in their heart and they will not even fear death to join with you. And there's nothing really going on right now in our society and the people who are leading who are showing or sharing that, are there?
No. Can't say that I've seen it.
So that's our I Ching reading for today. I'm Lucky Links, and this is Clyde.
Yes, it is.
And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you want to see more Clyde videos, continue to let us know. Clyde will be doing another one of his Gothic poetry readings.
Yes, I will.
Very soon. But I hope you guys enjoyed this, and you guys have a fantastic day, and hopefully this I Ching reading will give you something to what, Clyde?
Something to think about.